This is Cody's Bait and Tackle, Cody's Guide Service, Warsaw, Missouri, Truman Lake, and Lake of the Ozarks. I didn't give a fishing report at the end of last week like I've been trying to do just because of Truman changing so much. Pretty well, it is still in full turnover right now. Everybody's this morning on Facebook's wondering about it, what's going on, why is the fishing so bad. I have been all over the lake the last 4 or 5 days, just kind of seeing what's going on and where. Pretty well the whole lake right now is in turnover. The upper Osage, I think it turned over a little bit earlier. I think it's pretty well done, but that water is really muddy up there. I did catch some catfish up there. I think the upper Grand might have turned over a little bit earlier. I heard of a few fish being caught up there the end of last week. It was pretty slow too. A few big fish was caught up there. I didn't catch a whole lot for big fish on the Osage. It just a bunch of good eaters on up towards Tally Bend and just down below there a little bit. The main lake is pretty slow. I fished it the last 3 days. Friday we caught limits of blue cat, no problem. Saturday was rough. We caught several slot fish, several good eaters, missed quite a few fish. It was just short striking the baits. Everywhere I went, the water was bubbling. It was scummed up. You could see air bubbles, just rows of air bubbles coming up on your fish finder. Everybody's sending me pictures. What is this? What is this? Of air bubbles coming up off the bottom. Well, it's just air bubbles. That's what happens when the lake turns over. You can see it on your graph early in the morning. You can see it on side scan, and it looks like trees sticking up. It's bubbling so hard right now. I did see, I went up a couple of creeks. I did see some actual chunks of stuff that's come up in there already. The main lake, I didn't see any chunks of algae and stuff like you normally see on the bottom yet. So all that stuff hasn't broke loose. I'd say we still got a few more days of it on the main lake. Look like the creeks was pretty muddying up yesterday a little bit. Main lake all looked clear. Crappie bite. I talked to people that fished the Grand, Tebow, the Osage, both palmy arms this weekend. Everybody caught a couple of fish. It was not very good. I do think the guides that are fishing on up the midsection of the Grand, they're still catching a few with live scope. Even one of the guys that fishes every day down here, he runs live scope. I talked to him yesterday when he was getting off the water. He only caught 5 crappie, and he is a good crappie fisherman. I mean, he normally catches limits every day. Yesterday he was struggling. So white bass are starting to come up on the banks. I netted quite a few white bass this week while I was netting shad on the banks. The last 3 or 4 days, I've seen them kind of working on the points. That water's still real clear, so you can't get close to them. They'll spook off. Some of them humps out on KK Island are holding white bass and a few hybrids right now. I haven't heard of any other humps. I haven't tried to fish them for a while, so I do know I've been seeing some caught out there. And when I pass through there, I've stopped and grafted a few times and seen some little pods of white bass. Most of the white bass I've seen on points have been like on your secondary points and main points. I did watch some guys up the Osage. They was doing pretty good off the bank even, catching them. We haven't had much wind. Wind will help that out, help keep you from spooking them some. They'll kind of stay put longer, and it'll help push that bait up there. As far as on bass, on Truman, I have not heard a whole lot at all. I watched some bass guys this weekend. They just bounced all over the place. I think it was pretty rough for them. Midday, a lot of the bait is pulling back real shallow in the pockets right now. Pretty easy to catch. Of a morning, I've been seeing bait. Been seeing some right on the banks. I caught some great big gizzard shad and 6 inches of water on a point the other morning. Ended up running back in a big mud flat and caught most of my bait in a foot and a half of water. I am seeing a lot of big schools down deep now, 20 to 30 foot deep. I caught catfish yesterday anywhere from 4 foot of water all the way down to 40 foot of water. Just kind of depends. You'll grab fish here and there and scattered all over the place right now. Most of them will not eat. I mean, it was pretty rough on getting any action in. It does kind of seem like that midday bite is a little bit better right now on catfish. Just of a morning, it's still showing just a little bit of thermocline in places. And it's like 30, 35, 38 foot deep. It's way down there. But as soon as that drops down, those are kind of the places where I'm catching some of my more active fish. Of a morning, them fish don't want to bite. I've got a fish under, 30 foot of water. But just kind of depends right now. You just got to fish it, find fish, fish it, and see if they bite. If they don't, pull up, move spots, fish something different. Lake of the Ozarks is still pretty good on a catfish bite. Part of it's turning over right now, but you get down the lake a little bit further where I think it turned over early. That seems to be a real good bite still. That's pretty well below the 55-mile marker. That down in there seems to be a pretty steady. Up above, I'd say up above the 60 has been hit and miss. It's pretty slow in spots. I did catch some fish down there early last week, but I fished a lot of different spots that had fish to not catch a whole lot, and I ran on down and did real good. So we had one day I fished up in a creek and we ended up catching almost 60 fish by noon. So just kind of depends. You got to find, and them fish are moving. One day they might be in the creeks, next day they'll be out on the mud flats. Just a lot of graphing and looking around, putting in the time. Everybody always, where's the best spots to go? Where's the best spots to go? There isn't a best spot to go. Even on the bank, there isn't a best spot to go right now this time of year. You just got to go fish a spot. If you don't catch, give it 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you don't get bit, move on. That's not a good spot right now. There is some active fish. You just got to keep moving around until you find them. That's about all I got for you this morning. I appreciate it. This is Cody's Bait and Tackle, Cody's Guide Service. I appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a like on there. And I'll try to keep doing these reports for you guys and giving out some information and videos and all that good stuff. I appreciate it, y'all.